So another closers by committee. We're still committee of two. We're still looking to add closers. Uh,
Dun, dun,
yeah,
dun, 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 dun.
yeah. I sent out an SOS to a few people and come and return to the island yet. So, but Aaron and I will continue to close out these proceedings until we have extra closers to
So we
share
have
the
meaningful
workload with.
baseball.
Yeah. So let's dive right in it. There's a lot of stuff this week. All right. In about 8 hours, the World Baseball Classic is going to be starting. Now I know that Aaron is that he's not real high on that, but as a serious baseball program, we got to cover it a little bit. I'd have to say. So, um, when you look at the World Baseball Classic, you have four brackets, and A, B, C, and D. Pool A is Canada, Colombia, Cuba, Panama, and Puerto Rico, and they'll be playing in San Juan, Puerto Rico, at
The
Hiram
C's and the
Bithorn
P's.
Stadium. The C's and the P's. Um, that should be a pretty good bracket, I guess. They got some of the major league players that are in it are like Tyler O'Neill, Owen Casey, Jameson Taillon, Jose Quintana. Um, Panama will feature Johan Camargo, Ruben Tejada. The good thing about the World Baseball Classic is sometimes you see guys like Tejada, and you see guys like, on the USA team, you see another chance to watch Clayton Kershaw pitch. He'll be pitching in the World Baseball Classic. So that's one thing, Aaron, that if you ignore the World Baseball Classic, you might get a last chance or miss out on a last chance to see,
I, I don't regret not seeing Otani strike out Trout.
oh, that was, okay. So let's go on and we'll talk a little bit more about it.
Because
But
I
let's
don't give
break
a
down.
fuck about the WBC.
Yes, yes, we know your position. Pool B is Brazil, Great Britain, Italy, Mexico, and USA. The USA team is like loaded with a bunch of guys. They're probably, Japan has been in the finals, I think, 4 out of 5 the 5 years or something. They struck, like you mentioned, they won the last uh, WBC. Of course, we're not talking about that's a different pool, but the USA team this year is like really stacked. It's got a lot of guys like Bryce Harper, Cal Raleigh, Bobby Witt. Um, so I believe Brandon Webb is starting game one. The other thing is all the USA games, with the exception of one game that it's currently scheduled in its first round, it's going to be on Fox. So you're going to be able to watch most of the games on
I'm
Fox.
not. I don't get Fox.
You don't get Fox?
I'm on a mountain. I don't get broadcast TV.
You don't get broadcast TV at all? Wow. All right. Well, you're not missing much, really. Broadcast TV is kind of in the throes of its last days, I believe. But here we go. Pool C is Australia, Chinese Taipei, Chechnya, Japan, and Korea, and that's going to be at the Tokyo Dome.
Is that the former. Is that the Czech Republic?
Doesn't say
I
here.
think it's Czechia without an N.
Chechnya. Okay.
Yeah. But not to be confused with Chechnya, which is a different country.
Thank you. Thank you for the correction. So Tokyo Dome, that place is usually rocking, right? Because the Japanese baseball fans are just out of their minds. It's like kind of like a soccer, uh, a soccer crowd in Great Britain or something. It's just off the chain. So those will be fun games to watch, probably. I mean, any chance to see Otani and Sasaki and some of the other participants in this bracket. Jung Hoo Lee is in it for Korea. Did you know his nickname is Grand, or the meaning of his? I don't know which part of his name though. Now that I look at it, the grandson of the
Oh, the
wind,
wind, yeah.
Jung Hoo Lee. I guess is that what that his full name means? Grandson of the wind.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw that. I saw a note about it, and then I didn't even translate it. I'm like, well, what? That only making sense. Okay, but
And I think
so
he was when during the strike season, I think he was on the KBO games.
Oh, okay. Okay. They said, in this thing that I read in preparation for this, they talked about Lee having his best season yet. I had him last
Not
year.
strike season, COVID season. What am I saying?
Right, right, right. You had your wrong shortened season.
Yeah.
Um,
My brain automatically went to labor stoppage, but no, it was the pandemic.
the wrong asterisk. Um, but Lee, I don't know. He had an underwhelming season as far as I was concerned, but he's a good ball player. But I mean, a good real life ball player, but not much of a fantasy ball player.
Wasn't he injured for a good part of it too?
Not really.
I thought he was, or maybe that was last year,
Last, are you talking about when the
the
tournament you?
previous year.
Oh, the previous year, I think so. Yeah, but last year he played a lot and hit in the middle of the Giants' order and really did not rack up a lot of extra base hits. He was
Yeah.
more of a contact hitter. But okay, Pool D. This is in the Dominican Republic. This is Israel, Netherlands, Nicaragua, Venezuela. They'll be playing at the Marlins home Lone Depot Park in Miami. And this bracket will feature stars like Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Juan Soto, Julio Rodriguez,
So
Fernando
who's in
Tatis.
charge in Venezuela?
Who's in charge? I'd yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question.
That Donald Trump?
They're going to have. I don't know. I have the feeling if Venezuela, probably Donald Trump will step in. I'd say the
He'll
president could
accept the
not be here.
medal. Yeah.
Yeah, he could not be here tonight, but I'm going to accept this award on his behalf. Yeah, but
Home of Dave Concepcion, right?
yeah. Well, and you know what? The same can go. You can say the same thing about the USA team. If they win, they need to lock the doors. They can't let Cash Patel or Pam Bondi
Yeah. No
or
shit.
JD Vance or Trump himself to show up and like try to steal their thunder because we have an example already of what happened with the hockey team. All their cred was completely shot by the visuals of the celebration. So, but,
Yeah.
who knows what would
How
have.
many minutes did Cash Patel skate on the ice? How many shots on goal did he have?
You had a couple shots, but they weren't on goal. They were down his throat. So, so hopefully the USA team, which I don't know, they're going to have their hands full. Probably, which it might come down to them in Japan again. It's going to be a competitive series because of all the major leaguers that are on the best of these teams. So.
Dominican Republic's always going to be a strong
Right,
team.
and these games mean they mean more and more to the USA, I guess, but they really mean a lot to a lot of these international teams. They really get amped up for it. I guess since they took it out of the Olympics, they took baseball out of the Olympics. This is the substitute. Um,
I still don't like that there are professional athletes in the Olympics.
I don't either. That's another gripe I have with the. It really bears no resemblance to the Miracle on Ice of the
Yeah.
1980 hockey team. Those were all amateurs up against like insurmountable odds. Now, the NHL, they're mostly NHL players on the. Anyway, this is a baseball. This is a baseball podcast. All right. So I had a question. It kind of stoked a question I wanted to pose to you, Aaron. Does the absence of these players over 2 weeks in the middle of spring training open the door for a few more kids that are trying to make a big league roster?
Well, they'll get eyeballs on them.
Yeah, they might get some, a lot
You
of.
never know. And somebody could get injured in
Yeah,
the WBC, and somebody also can get injured in spring training. But
right.
you never know what's going to happen. Hopefully, everybody's healthy and
Right.
starts the season as expected.
Well, a lot of times, these star players, star caliber players, about middle spring training on, they start to get more reps. They stay in the ball games longer. They don't come out as quickly. Now there's an opportunity, I think, during these games that are becoming a little bit more meaningful for kids maybe to make their bid to make the roster. That would be terrible to go off to play in the WBC and win the medal for your country and come back and find out you lost your job. But
Yeah.
it could potentially happen. But all right. Well, there you
I
have
like
it. There's
I
the
liked watch.
WBC.
That's part of the reason I liked curling, because these people all have other jobs and and lives. They're
Yeah,
amateur athletes.
right. I
They're-
didn't, I should have watched some, but do they show that data on screen while they're curling? Do they say Henry
yeah,
is a
yeah, but I've mostly watched the women because they're I don't know, better
okay? They just have more
and
acumen for it.
yeah, better touch on getting it to the button, as they
Yeah.
say. Um,
Well, it's a loaded.
it
Yeah,
was,
I
but
get it.
that is what it's called, the button.
Yeah, but I can see that.
But
They're
yeah, yeah,
more
like the captain of the U.S. team, I think, is a pharmacist. Her sister is also on the team, and she's a dentist, like their dad.
okay.
And, but they all have jobs, like they're all professionals, and
Right.
they're still dedicated enough to get to the Olympics every 4 years. They made it to the
Well,
bronze medal
that's
round. Although in the mixed curling, Corey Tesi did win. She was the first U.S. woman to, I think, win any medal in curling.
congratulations to her. But I mean, that's I remember a big part of the Olympics when I was a kid was all these human interest stories. They'd fill in between the events. They'd say,
Mm-hmm.
oh, they'd show like a little 3 or 4 minute segment about how
Yeah,
somebody,
was born
uh,
without legs, and then no,
yeah,
but
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
they overcame some hardship.
if you have NBA players or major league players or NHL players, everybody knows what their side story is. This
Yeah,
guy won a Stanley Cup in 2028, 24 or whatever. But all right.
yeah. You
So
had the biathlete guy too that won the bronze and then confessed to his affair.
oh, I
Did you
totally
see
whiffed
that?
on that. I didn't see that. No, that's
Like,
yeah. It's
but
like
how do you feel about winning the bronze medal? Not so good. 6 months ago, I was with the most wonderful girl in the world, and 3 months ago, I cheated on her.
wow. That's like TML right there.
it was
TMI.
it was so wild.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I totally. Yeah. You'd think that SNL would do a skit or something on that one.
Yeah, but SNL, they were all at the Olympics.
Yeah.
They weren't airing SNLs because of the Olympics.
This is true.
But like Colin Jost, I saw on the most recent SNL was in the back of a bobsled going on a test run,
Was he really?
yelling "Holy shit!" Yeah,
Oh, okay. Well, I know they were off the air during the Olympics.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we have to do this. It's our graven duty as a baseball podcast to deliver the American League news. So we'll go ahead and get that out of the way. Um, one significant injury, not just for the Boston Red Sox, but for Team USA, is Roman Anthony is dealing with an ouchie right now. So I don't know if he's in jeopardy of missing opening day, but that's
Was
a
it from
huge
that
part of their
collision where
plan.
they said nobody was hurt?
I think so. Yeah. So, so much for that, right? Okay.
Yeah,
So, Starling Marte signed with the Royals.
yeah.
Um,
I lost a dollar keeper there.
yeah, yeah. That reminds me, I did list a few of the uh, available free agents that are still out there that I was going to talk about in a few minutes. But he was one of them. But he was taken recently by the Royal. Signed up with them. The perpetually injured Jacob DeGrom makes his spring debut Wednesday versus Team Brazil. So I know the Rangers. I don't even know. I don't follow the Rangers. I don't even know what kind of season did he have last year. Was he healthy for most of the season?
I don't know. I don't follow the Rangers either.
Yeah.
The Rangers did not have a good season. I know that.
Yeah. Right. Well, so
I'm
we
seeing
talked.
Joe Mantiply signed with the Royal with the Blue Jays today.
Okay.
That's the only transaction of March 3rd,
Got it.
not counting the PED guys.
Yes. In fact, we should have included that in our all of baseball news.
Let's
But
You can do it right now.
yeah, let's talk about. Johan Rojas of the Philadelphia Phillies. First got nailed the first time today. He's appealing the the suspension that he received of 80 games. He's like their ninth hitter. He's a good defensive center fielder. That he would be missed. I
Is
don't,
he
I,
still on Bill's team?
I don't recall. No, I don't. He hit him for a buck at one time. I think we should have that at
The
our fingertips
the
right here. But
shit bags
yeah,
do not have Johan Rojas.
okay. Well, I doubt he was going to be kept anyway if he was anything more than a dollar. But maybe hopefully he'll learn his lesson and come back and you know have a clean career. Rest of it, assuming that he's allowed back in the game. You can't take that for granted. Maybe a team will take offense to that to the extent that they'll say we're not putting up with this shit anymore, and you don't get another shot. But
Well, it's his first offense, right? 80 games.
yeah, yeah. Um, but someone who didn't learn his lesson was obviously Jerkson Profar of the Atlanta Braves, who got busted. He got the 80 game suspension 2 years ago,
So now he's out for the
and
season.
this is strike two, right? He got 162 game suspension, and as we mentioned, both guys are appealing, but this is still going on. Obviously, it's.
You're saying they're fine looking men?
Did I say that?
They're appealing.
They're appealing, right? They're appealing. They're appealing the judgment against him. How about it? Put it that way. But these guys, are they just? It leads to the question: are they just out there trying to learn to circumnavigate the rules? I mean, are they really taking it to heart and trying to reform when they're getting busted? Or we have a bunch of guys out there that are saying, uh, I'm gonna this is undetectable, or I'm working with this guy that's giving me something that can't be traced back,
Mm,
can't be detected in a drug test.
neither one of those look like your stereotypical roid guys, right? Their heads aren't
Not
big.
not like Zach Veen, no.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I don't think he's grown. I don't know. You don't see any outward uh, indications that they're juicing, but
Zach Veen, man, that's a damn good one to bring up.
mhm. Well, we did talk about him
Yeah,
last time. Anyway,
but now there's two juicers since,
right,
and we're
right,
saying are they hiding it?
yeah, yeah.
No, I mean
I
alleged. We're not alleging that. Well, we kind of are. We're questioning.
Well, the guy adds 40 pounds of muscle, they said, in one winter. I mean, how much muscle can you eat? It's like, is he working out with RFK and Kid Rock or
He
what?
quit drinking was part of it too, right?
That was part of it. Yeah. Well, you know, whatever can get you off alcohol, I guess, is great, but I don't know. Anyway, we'll see what happens with those guys if they ever get back from their suspensions. I don't think they should necessarily expect to get back from their suspensions. That's up to the
I
Major
don't know
League.
about
Yeah.
Profar, man. Yeah,
Right. That's part of the deal. You're kind of stained at that point. We'll see how their appeals go. If they're let off the hook, then all apologies. But we'll see. Um,
and Zach Veen, or is he appealing? Oh, he doesn't have to be appealing because he hasn't been busted yet. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, right. He hasn't been busted. He's clean. All right. So National League news. I don't know why the Cardinals. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Ollie Marmol. Uh, I don't get him. The Cardinals do. They gave him a
as a
2 year.
non-Cardinal fan, I'm a fan of Ollie Marble.
Well, yeah, I am enjoying the string of failure that they're putting together here the last couple years. But Marmol, if you have any of his players, like I don't like the way he handled their center field situation with Victor Scott the second, and who's that guy that Punch and Judy uh, outfielder that he kept like platooning with him, didn't give him playing time. I can't think of his name right now. Sani, right? Sani.
Yanni,
Yes, yeah. He loves that guy. I never got it what he saw in that guy, but he continues to put him out there.
Is he still on the team? Yeah, I think he ended up like in the Dodgers minors or something.
Did he? Well, they took him away from him, so maybe he'll have a little more success now. But um, I don't know. Marmol, I don't know. His lineup construction just seems weird to me. I don't see.
Let's see here. We got Newt Barr, Ivan Herrera, Alec Burleson, Nolan Gorman, Mason Wynn, J.J. Weatherholt at second, Jordan Walker in right, Pedro Pajes behind the plate, Victor Scott in center. The bench would be Yoel Pozo, Ramon Urias, Jose Fermin, and Nathan Church.
Yeah. Well, good luck to them. Let's see how they do.
Yeah, I'm going to have two other rotation guys for a buck, though.
Oh yeah, you got
Libertor and Palante.
Libator. That's a good asset right there. Plate, I don't know. I think he had a decent season, right?
He's working on a kick change he thinks is going to change everything for him.
Okay. Well, Padres signed Alex Verdugo. There's a name I hadn't heard in a while.
Yeah, I think I paid too much for him as a free agent a year or two ago.
Yeah, he
When
came
the
over
Braves signed him.
right. He was like released by the Red Sox, or was that a trade?
I think he was released.
Okay. Corbin Carroll and Merrill Kelly looks like they might be on track to make it to opening day for the Snakes. They need that desperately. Those are two key figures in their hopes for the upcoming season. Marlins pitching prospect Thomas White suffers an oblique strain, the dreaded oblique.
Yep, it's spring.
Yeah. I don't think we talked about the Brewers signing Luis Rengifo to play third base.
Rengifo, yeah.
Rengifo. Last week, although that may have happened at that point, but we didn't talk about it. But he looks like he's set to take over at third base for them, replacing the guy they gave up in trade to the Durban.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Forgot all about that deal.
He's a good ball player, too, so he's got some shoes to fill there. And here's one I know you love, Aaron. Matt McLean is destroying Cactus League pitching. He is absolutely. He's had 3 home runs. He had 2 home runs the other day. 3 home runs total. He's, it's less than 20 at bats, I believe.
Is he in the best shape of his life?
He must be. He's in the best shape. He's been hanging out with Zach. But
we'll see how it carries over into the season. But I'm not a McLean believer at this point.
I just
Red's going to have a pitching staff, though, that's for sure.
Right. I somewhat still believe in McLean, but whenever you see those pictures of McLean standing next to Ellie's about twice his size. It kind of makes you go, I don't know if that's. I don't know if that's a representation of the gap between them in talent, or what.
No, I don't know. Joe Morgan wasn't very big.
That's true. Very true. All right, so that's our news. We got through that in a half an hour. So that gets us all the way to the bottom of the third. I don't know if you saw this, Aaron, but they had the League of
Labor.
Yeah, the labor draft.
League of Alternate Baseball Reality. Is that what it was?
Right.
Alternate or alternative?
It's the first of 2 big
alternate
fantasy drafts in the off season that we kind of adhere to, and this one and Tout Wars, which is coming up, I think, in 2 more weeks.
Yeah, those are the so-called expert leagues.
Right. I'm going to pause for a moment, and then I'll be right.
Good, my coffee's empty.
Got it.
Hey, who
Uh,
were we talking about on Texas before?
what do you mean closer? Oh,
You
uh,
asked if they had a good year.
oh, Degrom.
He played 30 games, 172 innings,
You know, that
297
already sounds good.
ERA. Yeah, 3.4
Oh yeah,
WAR. I don't see his
nothing wrong
whip
with all that.
readily. Let's see.
All right, so all right, here's the labor draft. I'm going to share this out. We'll take a quick look at that. This is our bottom of the third segment. This is our middle innings, our fantasy segment. So when I look across, most of these numbers are a little suppressed compared to what we end up paying in our league. But I thought this one was interesting right here. Max Muncy for $15. Most of the
Hmm.
projections I've seen recently have him much lower than that in a 5x5 league. But that's one of mine. So one of mine will always capture my attention. but um,
Yeah, I'll pull up my app here and I'll tell you what Muncie's worth from various sources. We can move on to the next
is
dude
he?
if you want. Well,
Yeah. Okay. So if we look at the other one I thought was interesting is there was $17 here for Chase Burns right here.
yeah.
That seems a lot. I mean, I really like Chase Burns, but that's expecting him to really take a step forward this year.
Well, 29 for Yamamoto.
Yeah.
They value pitching in that league.
Yes, they do.
Tyler
35.
Glasnow, 15.
I think if Paul Skeens was in our draft, he would be quite a bit higher than $35, but he's not going to be in our draft. I actually think he'd go for $40, maybe 38, $40.
Yeah.
Um,
How much did Kershaw go for back in the day? I think I went like 38 on him once.
yeah, it tends to drop off a bit faster than it does for hitters. Um, but still, that's quite a bit of your payroll right there in one starter.
Yeah.
I don't know. Jackson Merrill, $22. He had kind of a down year last year. At least he stopped running was one thing that kind of suppressed his value. But people are expecting him to maybe run a little bit more this year, steal some more bases. Um, so there's the board. I don't know what
Yeah.
you want to make of it.
I've got the Max Muncy at about $10.
Yeah. The one thing he proves is that when he's healthy, he
He
can
he
go
earned
mad.
15 last year, so
Yeah. Well, he hit 19 home runs and played like less than 100 ball games, I think.
and 19 home runs and 313 at bats.
Yeah. Um, so they have um, their bench is loaded with supplemental draft picks they make after the auction.
Everybody thinks his average is going to drop. He hit 243 last year, and they've got him 218 to 224.
Okay. I think with Muncie, the thing is that he's always had been able to hit lefties,
Yeah,
but that seems to be starting to betray him now. He's not
it's
really hitting lefties
it's
like
an
he used
aging
to.
curve thing, and that's why they're
Yeah.
predicting that the
Yep.
average drop.
So Harper 27. That seems a little low for Bryce Harper, but again, these guys are a
It's
bit more
pretty spot
disciplined.
on to me. Yeah, let's see what we got for Harper in our league. Yeah, I've got him 25 to 29.
Okay, well, it's right in that same.
Yeah,
That's a reasonable. But as we all know in our league,
yeah, we can drive people up.
yeah, Um, Connor Griffin, $13. It's interesting. We talked about him last week.
Yep,
Probably the
he's
best. Yeah,
easily the best rookie out. He might make the team though, huh?
he might. Yeah. So there you have it.
We won't have
Uh,
to. He won't have to be one of the two added from the minors.
so you don't have to go out to their website to look at it. We just shared that with you, and that will help you with your draft, hopefully.
Yeah.
All right.
Or you can go out and look at it.
Yeah. I can't think of the website right now, but I believe that Sean wears that site out. I believe he's a member, and he's on there all the time. But all right, so now we go to our middle innings, baseball and pop culture, and we talked about a book a long time ago when your boys were young. Aaron, you asked me what was a good baseball book to share with them, and I told you that a lot of my a lot of my canon comes from shit that was left over from my brothers and sisters. Like we talked about the album,
Mm-hmm.
uh, the, the album she left behind, like Tapestry and all that stuff. Well, my brother left behind a book about Frank Merriwell, and it's a baseball book, and it was all about college baseball. And the book takes place. It's in Southern California. I think it's like USC or UCLA, or at least you're supposed to believe that's what it is. But it's all about how this baseball team comes together, and there's all these nationalities on the team, and how there's like this sense of brotherhood, and working towards the same goal, and how a baseball team kind of is a microcosm of society, that's working together towards a common goal, or democracy, even maybe. um, and I just loved it when I was a kid. It's very simply, it was written. It was a kid's book, so it was written for kids. But I could not find it
Hmm.
to share with you, so I told you about it. Turns out Frank Merriwell is like a generic teen uh, character that appeared in all kinds of different,
Huh.
like a cowboy in something, or he, worked as a fireman or something in
So these
another
are all
book.
like young man fantasy things, sort of.
Yeah, yeah, kind of like that. So I did. Went on Amazon, and I finally found the book that I have. Of course, your sons probably would have no interest in it anymore, but but
Yeah,
I'll go ahead.
they wouldn't have then either.
Yeah. So here we go. I recognized the cover as soon as I saw it. I said, "That's the book."
Ah,
Frank Merriwell returns.
nice. He
So
looks like he's on the Reds too.
yeah, yeah. That's why I thought maybe it's USC. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I don't see any yellow. I don't see anything, but or gold. But anyway, so that's one book that I would recommend for a very young reader. That's Frank Merriwell Returns. Let me see, by Mike Frederick. So if you get a chance, if you got a young kid that's interested in baseball, that's one I would recommend. Um, Another book that I might recommend. Let's see. Let's stop sharing that. Another one I would recommend is maybe um, 8 Men Out.
Huh?
Oh,
Is this
let's
backwards or forwards?
backwards.
Am I able to change that?
Supposedly, I'm able to change that. There we go.
There we
The New Yorker Book of Baseball Cartoons. That's cool. I like that. It's got one of those 1880 style uniforms there. Sweet.
The bunt.
Getting tied in knots. My curveball, I guess. The old Bugs
He's,
Bunny curveball.
he's just swing. He's warming up. He's swinging like 20 bats. Puts a few down. Gets up there and then lays down a bunt.
Right. That's cool. You had that one for a while?
Had this one for a while. Don't
So did
remember
those?
where I got it. Why they have spring training? Oh
Huh.
hell!
All right. Well, another one I thought of was Eight Men Out. Of course, they made the movie about it, but I did read it before the movie came out, and by Elliot Asimov. And of course, I was interested in this in part because it takes place in Cincinnati, and some of the locations that they talk about still exist, and I know them pretty well. And then the story of Shoeless Joe Jackson and the White Sox, and how they uh, conceded the World Series to the Reds and were paid off by gamblers for doing so. Um, Underpaid, ironically, um, and some not paid at all, actually, by the gangsters. But that's another one that I highly recommend. And a little bit, okay. The Physics of Baseball, Robert K. Adair. All right.
A batted ball should be able to travel no farther than 545 feet, excluding meteorologically freaky conditions.
Hmm. So, so some sort of science came into coming up with that assessment then.
Yeah. A curveball that seems to break over 14 inches never actually deviates from a straight line by more than 3.5 inches.
Hmm. So it's all an illusion. It's all magic.
Everything is magic in a
Right.
world of illusion.
Right. Here's another one that imprinted me, and that was Boys of Summer by Roger Kahn. That's a great book, actually.
Not by Don Henley.
Not by Don Henley. Here's a Don Henley version right here, but Boys of Summer. If you get a chance to read that, that's a very good book.
Saw a Deadhead sticker on a Cadillac.
Yeah. Little voice inside my head said, "Don't look back." And then finally, you got another one?
Um, I don't think I do handy. No.
Okay. Well, I'll just throw my last one in there is the summer. Oh, no, I already did that one. You know what? I don't have another
I,
one.
I always want to. I always want to toss out the battered bastards of baseball.
Oh yeah, yeah, battered bastards of baseball, of course.
The,
Yeah,
the
that's
documentary.
the Kurt Russell documentary where his father ran the baseball. It was it's a true story. His father ran the minor league baseball team.
Yeah, I think it was in Portland, right?
I think so. And Kurt played for it, right?
Yeah,
Didn't
he
he
was
play?
shortstop.
Yeah. So here's my last pick: Summer of '49.
The Portland Mavericks.
The Mavericks. That's still on Netflix, isn't it?
It is distributed by Netflix, presumably still playing on it.
Yeah. Well, here's my last one. Summer of '49. David Halberstam. I like a number of his books. I did read this book. It's very good. It's about the Red Sox, Yankees rivalry, Ted Williams, Joe and Dom DiMaggio, and just the city of the cities. A good biography will detail all of the all of the ambience of the cities and everything like that. And this one is just really well written. So there you have it. There's our recommended baseball books.
The Old Man in the Sea.
Yeah.
He's always talking about the great DiMaggio and his bone spurs.
Don't get me started on bone spurs. All right. So our next and final segment, of course, is the ever important always be closing. Always be closing. Um, and you had a couple teams you wanted to cover this week, right, Aaron? What you want to start with?
I did, and I was hoping that you remembered them so I don't have to.
Okay.
I know
Well,
there's one American, one was the White Sox, and one was Colorado. Am I right?
yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right. So the White Sox, I don't know. Does anybody believe in Sir Anthony Dominguez as the closer? Because that's the case there.
There was a time I think he would have been a good option, but after he had
That,
his
that,
surgery, he's
that
never been the
time was
same.
like 2019.
Yeah, right. I'm not bullish on him in the
First in
role.
line, Jordan Leisure. Second in line, Grant Taylor.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that's what that is. Colorado, you never want a Colorado pitcher at all, especially not a Colorado closer. I don't care how desperate for saves you are. But we've got Victor Vodnik coming back in the closer role. Seth Halverson first in line, although he's, I believe, on the 60-day IL.
Hmm. Brutal.
I think he's injured anyway still. Jimmy Herget, or is it Hergé?
Now, didn't Halverson get a shot? I mean, he had it for a bit last year, right? I feel like he
He
has.
got hurt, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like he has a little more talent than Vodnik, Victor Vodnik. They keep going back to him by default, but
Yep, he's got that availability.
yeah. So I don't think that Sir Anthony's going to hold on to it for the whole season. Uh, they'll probably ride him for as long as they can to drive up his value, and then probably deal him at the deadline. Assuming the White Sox are going to be terrible, which I think is a safe assumption right now. Um, so somebody that deeper down on that chain is going to take that job. It's just a matter, you know, it might, could be somebody in trade or whatever. I haven't really looked into the Sox pen that much, but I imagine it's not very deep. Are there some like trash heap reclamation projects on that in that bullpen? I would imagine, or are they going
Um,
with the real youth movement?
I'm going to take a look right now. I'm still on my Jacob Degrom page. He did have a healthy season and pitched well. Jacob Degrom. Apologies
Right.
to to Texas Rangers fans.
Hmm.
And the White Sox, see what they've got in the pen. Dominguez, Leisure, and Taylor. Sean Newcomb,
Okay.
Mike Vasile, Brandon Isert, Jordan Hicks. Jordan Hicks still kicking around. And Jedixson Paez, Jedixson. Gotta love having a Jedixson on the team.
Yeah. Well, Hicks. I know a little bit about Hicks. He used to throw 105 miles an hour. Not anymore. But school thought was that once he went back to the pen, maybe he'd be able to, you know, add a few miles per hour back onto his fastball. And I think he got traded from the Giants to the Red Sox last year. And it seems to me he might be. This might be a
Last
audition.
gasp.
Yeah, for Hicks. I wouldn't expect him to get into the role unless he really performs well. But I do feel like Dominguez will be trade fodder. Those relievers, those are the most targeted players at the trade deadline are relievers, and I'm pretty sure Dominguez might be one of them this summer.
Yeah, but not Colorado never trades though at the deadline. So
No, they don't, do
they're
they?
stuck with Vodnik and Halverson.
Although I do remember one trade they made at the deadline that was kind of infuriating when they traded Larry Walker to the Cardinals during the middle. But I think the Reds were actually in contention that year. It's like, thank you very much. Didn't oh no, Larusa was in the front office of the Diamondbacks when they traded Arenado to the Cardinals. But it's like they sent Larusa out on some kind of like mission to infiltrate the other
Spy
team, and
mission.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Got really flashbacks or bad feelings about that organization, but
Jack
Um,
Sawinski claimed off waivers from the Pirates by the Dodgers.
yeah, I guess the Isotopes need a bench player. I don't know. He does. He's got about as much a chance to make the Dodgers as you or me. But that
Well,
guy,
he's got more of a chance than you or me, but
yeah. Well, he can hit. He can hit the ball at the ballpark, but he can't.
Santiago Espinal also signs with the Dodgers.
Hmm. I did see that. He's a good middle infielder, backup infielder. All right. So I took the Cleveland Guardians manager Stephen Vogt. And the reason I was looking at them is because the situation with Emmanuel Clase, which I feel like maybe we've seen the last of Clase, which is
Definitely.
unfortunate. Yeah. He was a nasty, nasty reliever. I mean, he threw like a sinker, like looked like about 97 miles per hour sinker. It was just
It was
ridiculous.
probably usually his first pitch too.
Yeah.
The
But
one he bet, the one he bet was a ball.
that's right. That's right. He apparently throwing ball games, you know. Uh
Not necessarily throwing ball games, but first pitches of innings and at bats.
yeah. Well, that's I don't know. It's all bullshit. Ever since DraftKings and that shit started infiltrating baseball, now they're embracing
Yeah.
it, you know, and stuff that
Normalization of gambling in baseball. Yeah.
they have to expect stuff like this to happen, and blood's on their hands, you know, on the commissioner's hands for this, I think.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I'm sure Class A was making good enough money where you didn't have to do this, but the temptation is high, or who knows? You know, you open yourself up to coercion. You know, it's like didn't Yasiel Puig had a problem with the gangsters, and they were going to like threatening to kill him in Dodger Stadium or something like that.
Yeah.
And so who knows what kind of situation you put these guys in when you introduce gambling, organized gambling, into even if it's legal, you know, because gangsters are going to gangsters. I'm talking like it's 1936, but criminals.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, right,
You're going to throw the first pitch in the dirt, see?
right. Or she's going to get it right. I'm going to plug her right in the head, you know. But yeah, it's just opens up the
You know,
possibilities for
we need
too
a we
much.
need a big old timey villain with the long mustache. You don't
like,
give me the D-Deal Ranch, I'm gonna tie you to the railroad track.
like Mr. Red. But yeah, so okay, Class A's gone, so that opens up this bullpen. But the thing is, the Guardians are one of those teams that come up with great bullpens. They're kind of like Tampa Bay. They got Cade Smith that's stepping in, and it really does look like it's his role to lose. He's got you know, he's got a good fastball, slider, curve. He has a good three pitch arsenal, which is kind of unusual for closers. So, usually they concentrate on two pitches with one kind of out pitch, like that sinker we were talking about. But he has three. You know, fastball sits around 97 or so, I believe. So you know, he's going to probably come out of spring training with the job. But then there's another very good reliever, Hunter Gaddis. He has a very deceptive, moving 95 miles per hour fastball that kind of rises, and a sharp slider. And he's even got, I mean, his best pitch is probably this changeup. He's got a really good changeup. He's a good setup man. He and Cade Smith sort of, you know, Smith got most of the opportunities, but Gaddis did convert some saves in the second half of last year and prove that he could do the job. Then they got a really good lefty who's good on getting lefties out.
Sean Armstrong.
Yes. Or wait a minute. Where's the?
I don't know
Yes,
if
I
he's
believe
a
it's
lefty.
Armstrong. Oh, maybe it's Tim Herron. Tim Herron, but Sean Armstrong is another one of those guys there. He's a righty, I believe that you can
He's
verify
he's
that.
a righty.
Yeah,
Eric Sabrowski and Tim Herron are the lefties in their bullpen.
Herron is the guy that's very tough on righties and lefties. It doesn't really matter. It's not a matchup guy, so he could even vulture some saves also. But I predict that coming out of spring training, it's going to be Cade Smith. Even though he blew a couple saves, like he blew his first chance after Clause was suspended. Very first chance he got, he like an epic fashion, he had a meltdown. but he did wind up getting 16 saves over the last part of the year, and I feel like he's earned the spot. He's probably going to have a fairly decent leash,
He
but
was in 76 games.
76 games. Wow, that's a lot. He's not going to be in that many games if he's the closer this
The year
year.
before, he was in 74 games, and they're
Mm.
projecting him for 70.
That's a lot of appearances for a closer, or a lot of yeah. Um,
67 to 70, depending on the.
I don't know how. I don't think Vogt is one of these guys that's going to do a committee. He's going to try to zone in on Cade Smith.
What do the Guardians have to do for vote to three-peat for Manager of the Year?
I didn't know he had two-peated, but um,
Both Managers of the Year two-peated this year.
well, since you're not going to be able to base it on postseason, right? I don't
No,
know. They'd probably have to win 100 games or something. That's tough. I don't know. That's a good question, though. What do you think?
I don't know, man. There's going to be vote fatigue.
Yeah, maybe they just think so little of him that it's easy for him to win the Manager of the Year. It's like, my God, this man did this. I mean, I don't think so, but
First two seasons as a manager, he won Manager of the Year.
that's incredible. Has anybody ever done that? That's
I
got to
don't
be a
know.
first. That's crazy. Okay, while you're looking that up, I'll talk about the Atlanta Braves. They kind of got. Uh, they also have a deep bullpen. They basically have a two-headed monster, Rafael Iglesias, and Robert Suarez is the closer and the setup man heading into the season. Raisel Iglesias was actually promised the role or strongly suggested he would get the role when he signed his one-year contract, but they signed Suarez to a 3-year deal, which indicates that maybe they view him as a long-term guy. Suarez is 35 years old, but both pitchers have really good stuff. Iglesias' fastball sits around 97. He's got a great slider, changeup, kind of similar to Cade Smith that we just talked about. But Suarez had a phenomenal year with the Padres, and he throws a little bit harder, just a tick harder. He throws his fastball. He gets out on his fastball. 70% of the time, he throws his fastball, and his out pitch is a really good changeup. So I've heard people say, well, Iglesias will be on a short leash, and they might want to give it to Suarez, by mid-season. But I think they'll be comfortable if Iglesias converts saves, they'll be comfortable leaving it alone. Um, I don't think uh, I don't think that this hierarchy is going to change dramatically unless you know Iglesias goes out there and starts serving up long balls or something like he did his last season with the Reds. He was prone to a home run. I don't know how many he gave up that year, but he gave up some. Like Puig got him for a walk off, and he is prone to home run binges. He will give them up every once in a while. But Dylan Lee's left-handed pitcher, uh, fastball, sweeping slider. And he also is able to get righties and lefties out. Like, wow, this bullpen is very similar to the Guardians, really, in makeup, with the two good righties at the top and the versatile left-hander setting them up. Um, but I think that, like I said, I think Iglesias will hold the position. They're not going to force the change unless they have to. Everything can change in 3 or 4 days. So
Yeah.
guy goes out
Suarez
there.
will end up the year, I think, as closer, but question is when's the change?
Yeah, right. So always be closing. Just remember, kids, always be closing. Closers or coffee is for closers. They're there are two gifts. There are two prizes. Set of steak knives, and second prize is you're fired.
I don't have steak knives, just the Mayor McCheese scissors.
Oh man, the Merrimack cheese sword. All right, man. I would like to get another closer in here, but I'd like it to be Bill. But We can keep at it, I guess. Um,
Reedy, all righty.
all right. I'm going to
Any
check out the WBC, and I'm going to continue to report out on it, but I'm not going to make you sick with it. It'll only be a week or two. But
so who loses Profar? Is that Rodney? We haven't
yeah,
really hit on the fantasy angle of our own league.
right. Yeah, we got a few minutes here, so let's talk about that. Yeah, Rodney has him. Um, Rodney has not commented on it yet, and I'm sure he's upset. But he's also got no LV Marte, so I hope I hope that doesn't blow up too.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's he's going to be, I think, maybe the next two-time offender.
I hope not.
I hope not too, for the Reds' sake.
My hope with Marte is that he was young enough that he'll learn from his mistake. Where I don't know what Profar has no excuse. He really has no leg to stand on.
He's just a
But if
little
yeah, if
desperate.
Marte goes down that road, you think yeah, I guess they get to the point they think to themselves, well, I'm not a Hall of Famer. I don't have a world championship. I'm going to be out of a job unless I do something. I don't know. I guess
Yeah,
they weigh the options and think that it's
you
worth
can
the risk.
you can always go play in a foreign league.
Yeah, right. Did the WBC players get paid? They don't get paid, do they?
Um, I don't know. It's put on by MLB.
Yeah.
There's a prize
Yeah, I don't
pool.
know.
Um,
Yeah. Okay.
Earnings increase as teams advance, including bonuses for winning pools, 300,000, and advancing to the semifinals, 500,000 or finals.
Okay.
All
Well,
teams receive 300,000 for participating, with half going to players and staff. Okay, so that's the teams.
yeah, but the
20
individual.
teams. Okay. If an MLB player gets injured during the tournament, their contract is covered by insurance.
Well, that's something. I never noticed your floor is actually on your ceiling. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's
I like that though. I mean, that's a nice
the Naughty
finish.
Pine.
Yeah. Yeah. All right,
Naughty
man.
Pine.
Let's
All
call
right.
it. Let's call it a walk off until we meet. Don't swing. What do you say?
Don't swing outside the zone.
All right.